Roblox players out there. You've definitely heard of the game Doors. If you don't know what Doors is a horror game on Roblox that has been released like almost last month. And currently, while I'll be making this, there's currently 100,000 people playing the game. So the game is very popular and it's doing well, and I can see why. If you need an explanation on Doors, look no further. Most explanations on the game involve like people be like, okay, you hide in a wardrobe from this monster, and yeah, that's how you deal with that monster. Like that's not specific enough. Most of them are just these videos with text, and frankly, I don't like reading text. I just like listening to things. So I decided to make this video for you guys that like to listen instead of you guys like to read, because reading is boring and reading is for nerds. Anyways, let me simplify Doors for you. Doors is a horror game on Roblox where you have to walk through a series of corridors and or rooms. And while you're doing that, you have to survive demons coming from the shadows, and you have to solve puzzles. And yeah, you have to go through 100 floors, and once you pass the 100th floor, you win the game. It may sound easy, but I can assure you, for all those new players out there that just want to play the game because a lot of people are playing it or you want to check it out, the game's harder than you think. Yes, I've beat the game like more than 10 times, and I've died a lot during those 10 times. So, yeah, but since I've played the game for a long fucking time, I can tell you for sure that I know how to survive every single monster. Now tell me if I get some of these things wrong, because even if I mess up on something, at least I'll get something about the monster right. Like, I'll tell you how to survive the monster and everything now. Sorry for wasting you guys' time. I'm sorry for not uploading a lot. Yada yada. This year's been busy for me and everything, blah blah blah. I'll try to upload regularly. Anyways, yeah, let me get to the first monster. Rush is by far one of the most common monsters found within the game, and is by far the most aggressive one in terms of attack. He is rather simple to deal with, even to new players. Basically, when you go on to level 6 and onward, Rush will have a chance of spawning in at any time when you open any door that leads to a new level. When you open a door and the lights flicker for a short period of time, find the nearest hiding spot like a wardrobe or a bed to hide in. After the lights flicker, a loud static noise can be heard in the distance. That sound that you just heard is Rush's static, and whenever you hear the sound getting louder, Rush is getting near. When he gets dangerously close to you, he'll begin to screech very loudly. After he passes, it's safe to come out. There is a trick to him that some speedrunners used against this specific monster. Okay, so his name is called Rush for a reason. He's most likely called Rush due to the fact that he rushes to an unopened door. He doesn't chase you, and he doesn't necessarily head towards you in particular. He just tries to go to the unopened door that you haven't reached yet. If you stay out of his path, you're fine. However, his hitbox is large. To avoid getting hit by his hitbox, hide behind a piece of furniture, like a couch, or stay in a basement, or hide behind a wall in a bedroom, or just somewhere far away from him. And he won't even come for you. So, if you're out in the open, and he's coming for you, all you gotta do is stay out of his way, like go super far away from him, and he won't go after you. But the monster will kill you instantly if you're not careful. So, be careful. Hide is a threat if you only hide in a wardrobe or a bed for too long. If you're hiding from Rush or another monster, Make sure to get into that spot when they're starting to get close. The reason for this is because if you stay in a spot for too long, especially on later floors, it will kick you out of your spot whenever you're hiding in it for too long. If the screen will begin to flash red and text that says "Get out" will appear, you need to get out of that spot right away. If you don't, he will kick you out of your spot and do 60 damage to you. But as long as you don't hide in a spot for too long, you're fine from the specific monster. Be aware though, as the further you go onto the game, the less time you have to hide from him as he gets more aggressive. Remember that. Eyes is a monster that can appear in any door at any time, besides Seek Chase levels, level 50 and level 100. Whenever you open a door, like the other monsters, Eyes has a chance of appearing in the room that you just opened. When you hear a weird noise that I'm going to play for you now, and everything turns blue, and some dark figure appears in the middle of the hallway, you need to look away immediately. If you look at the monster even for a second, he'll begin to do damage to you. The longer you look at him, the more damage he will do. If you're looking at him through glass, he won't harm you. Direct eye contact with the being with no protection can be fatal to you. It won't attempt to pursue you. It will only linger in the place that it manifested in. Whenever you open the door that leads to another room, he will despawn. Screech will only appear in naturally dark rooms. Naturally dark rooms are the rooms that are dark the moment you open the door, while unnatural dark rooms are rooms that are dark from an attack from a monster like Rush, since Rush takes out the light bulbs. Also, natural dark rooms are darker than unnatural dark rooms, and natural dark rooms make a weird spooky noise whenever you open the door. That spooky sound also plays when Rush or another monster opens the door. Anyways, when you hear a psst that sounds extremely close, look around you quickly until you see Screech. Upon looking at Screech, he will produce a loud scream and disappear. Failure to look at Screech directly in time will result in you being bit by the monster, and the monster wasting 40 health off of you after an attack. You can't stop him from attacking with a lighter or a flashlight, as it will reduce his chances of attacking you. When you walk into a room and the lights flicker for a good 5 to 8 seconds, that means that hole will attack you the moment you open the next door that you have to walk through. The flickering is way longer than it is for Rush or another monster that we'll talk about soon. Upon opening the door that leads to another room, you'll find yourself in a chase with Holt. You can tell you're in a chase by the way the room looks. If the room is just a very long corridor with the faint blue color surrounding the air, you gotta run forward and do not look back. Keep running until you see static on your screen that says turn back. When you see this, run the opposite direction, as Holt will attempt to attack from the front this time. Then if the chase static appears again, you gotta go the opposite way. Repeat this process until you reach the other room. Failure to dodge his attacks will result in 60 damage, so be careful.
Wow. One thing, I don't know why.
Timothy, or what me and my friends like to call Jamal, isn't really a threat. He's more like a scare. Whenever you are checking cabinets, there's a chance for Jamal to spawn in the cabinet that you opened. If you see a black spider in the cabinet, prepare to get attacked. He does very little damage to you after an attack. Around 5 to 3 health will be taken away from a jump scare. There's no knowing which cabinet he's going to be in. You're just going to run at him by accident. And there's no possible way for you preventing a jump scare. Ambush is very similar to Rush, but it has a few differences. It is way faster than Rush's, it has a bigger hitbox, and it has different static sounds. Here's what Ambush's static sounds like. Unlike Rush, Ambush is way brighter and bigger in appearance. A green light is always glowing from the creature. At first, he lacked the same as Rush. However, after an attack, he could attack again. It attacks anywhere from up to 2 to 6 times in a row. Hop out of a spot every time Ambush leaves a room, and when the static gets louder again, hop in that spot. Repeat this process until the static is gone. You can use the same logic on Ambush as you can with Rush. He'll also head towards an unopened door, so as long as the hitbox won't touch you, you're good. He also will not attempt to chase you. Whenever you go into rooms 30 to 40, eyes will appear in the room staring at you. No worries, you're not in danger yet. On levels 40 to 45, a long corridor will appear with windows on every side. No eyes will appear here, but this is where the danger begins. Behind you, a cutscene of a figure emerging from a black pit will begin to chase you. Run to the glowing doors or bookshelves for escape. After 4 rooms, the chase will end. He won't be a threat until levels 80 and 95, where the chase will start again, but longer and more intense. Like Rush or Ambush, he kills you instantly. Figure will show up on floors 50 and 100. On floor 50, you will start in a library and you have to look for books that are out of place on the bookshelves. You have to collect 8 books. Then, you have to find a piece of paper telling you a code. The code will have 5 of the correct shapes you need to put into a lock. On the side of the screen, it tells you the numbers what the shape equal. The monster is blind but very dangerous. Crouch the whole time and never stand up while walking. Never let the monster make contact with you even when crouching. Not only is the monster fast to you, it kills you fast, so watch out. The more books you collect, the faster the monster gets. On level 100, the figure will appear in front of you. Run back into the following room and hide in a wardrobe or under a bed. He will begin to systematically check the spots in the room one by one. When he reaches your spot, you have to beat a heart minigame until he leaves in order for him not to hear you. He will no longer be a threat until you beat the elevator puzzle, when he chases you up the stairs. Glitch. Glitch can only damage you if you're far away from your group. If the group is too far from you, Glitch will attack you out of nowhere and deal 40 damage. At the same time, he'll also teleport you to your team. He can also attack if your room fails to load in, but does no damage. It is extremely rare to come across. However, you can still get killed by them if you're extremely unlucky. Despite the fact that he cannot kill you, when you open the wardrobe that Jack is in, you'll see a smiling face staring at you in the wardrobe as Jack screams at you, only for the wardrobe to then slam shut. You can get killed by this because if rush or ambush are attacking you, it will prevent you from hiding, so watch out with this guy.